Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Coming to you from the world-famous Sugar Shack in Texas, USA. It's the In Wheel Time car talk show. Coming up and joining us again is Sumit Chauhan from CerebrumX, talking about the optimal time to charge EVs. And we'll have the upcoming events calendar. Mars is going to review the new Grand Cherokee. And at the bottom of the hour, we'll talk with Marco Ward in the EV Tech about charging stations and other electrical stuff. Plus, you'll hear from stories making automotive news. Howdy, along with Mike Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin. And sitting in Don Armstrong's chair today is David Ainsley. Don is on vacation in Wisconsin wearing his cheesehead hat.
And you are?
I'm Conrad
He's the
cheesehead. Welcome back. We've had Sumit on before, and we thought it was such a great interview. We wanted to have him on again from CerebrumX. And he's going to talk with us about the optimum times to charge EVs.
But does he think it was a good episode to come back?
Apparently so, because he came back.
All right, there you go.
Other than when the battery says needs charge like my phone does, what are the optimum times to recharge your EV?
Hi, good morning. And first of all, thank you, for having me here. And me being here is a testament enough that I love being here. So thank you. So in terms of the charging of the EV vehicles, as you would know, obviously there are two options, right? You can use the public infrastructure where you have those public charging stations where you can go, and plug in your car and get them charged. But most people, like all of us, what they would do is bring the car home. Let's say you're working 9 to 6. What they would do is as soon as you're home, you would plug in your car charger into the plug. And that's how the charging goes. However, with CerebrumX and our partners, we realized that that's not the optimal way to do things, because most times when you plug in your car, which is, let's say, 6 p.m., is when the peak load is being experienced by the grid, whether it's your state grid or the national grid or a specific regional grid that you're being charged on. Generally, when you plug your car in, normally it would be the highest tariff for the electricity that you're paying for. What would be optimal is that irrespective of when I put my my car on charging, if there is an intelligent system behind which can realize that, okay, this car needs probably 2 hours of charging, and I know that it would be plugged in till, let's say, 6 a.m. in the morning. And also, I have the background knowledge that the tariff would be the lowest between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning. So through an app, I can actually control when the charging is set to on, which would be turned on at the lowest tariff time, which is 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. So irrespective when you plug in, your car, it will only start charging when the tariff is at its lowest. So that's the technology I think that you will start seeing more and more as you would see the charges or the tariff for electricity go up. This is also going to go hand in hand with the fact that, and I think I've spoken on this before as well, that when you go to the gas station today for your non-EV vehicles, a part of what you pay for gas goes towards your road tax, whether it's the said state or the federal road tax. In case of EV, that is obviously not happening, right? You're not paying any tariff, towards the road tax because you're not going to the gas station at all. What the state and municipalities are going to do is, in time, they're going to levy the road taxes onto the charging that is happening on the cars. And the point I'm trying to make is, hence, it becomes even more important that you have the optimal charging in terms of when the tariff is the lowest, so that at least, you're not charged, a humongous cost for the charging, based on whatever car you're driving.
Oh my gosh, you're telling me that the government's going to take money from us while we're charging our cars? Yeah, surprise, surprise. I knew that was coming. And some of the reason for that is EVs being a heavier vehicle create more wear and tear on the roads and bridges. I don't know that everybody realizes that an EV is generally a pretty heavy vehicle, so the wear and tear of the roads and bridges is far greater as EV traffic increases.
So in the state of Texas, just this yesterday, September the 1st, you go to register your EV, you're now going to pay an extra $200 for that registration to cover that road tax or that loss of revenue on the road tax to do the road work because of the extra damage that they do to the
because they're not collecting taxes through fuel sales.
So you were talking about an app to help you figure out the optimal time so that you don't have to set your alarm clock to get up at 3:15 in the morning to plug it in and turn it on. Is that something that is built into the car, or you think is going to be built into the car?
So it's not really anything that you need to build into the car, because that would be kind of wasteful, because some people might use it, some other people might not use it. So why would you put that cost on every car? What we are intending to do is to put it as a smart plug-in on top of the car charger.
Oh.
So it would be something that would go on top of your regular charger, which you put on, inside the charging point on the car, so that charging point will, control using the app. Obviously, that will control when the charging actually starts. At all other times, it would be as if your car is unplugged. So it would be something that goes on top of the car charger, like an add-on device. Or you could have a charger which is, specifically designed for this at home as well. But in most cases, what we feel, it would be an add-on which goes on top of the charger as an aftermarket
that
device.
makes sense.
So still the app user is going to have to input the data on when their electric rates are lowest or their tariff rates are lowest.
No. So that's the beauty of it. The app itself is connected on the back-end side to the grid. They would know as to, you only have to enter which municipality or which zip code you're living in, and so on and so forth, or the county that you're living in, who's your provider, right? And we would know automatically what is the tariff that would be lowest at what point in the day, because on the back end, we are connected with the grid, and that's what you're paying for. Obviously it's a paid functionality, right? So that's what you're paying for, where you don't have to deal with anything. All you need to do is input two things: where do you live, or what's your municipality, and what kind of a car this is, because that would define the amount of charging that is required on the car on a daily basis.
Well, and if you've got one of those electric plans that are free nights and weekends, tie all that together, and your cost of charging can be substantially reduced.
Plus, you got the regular electricity, and then you got premium electricity, and you got mid-grade. No, that's just
premium and mid-grade, right? The high-octane electricity.
You're absolutely right. And what we feel is, and as you just pointed out yourself, that right now we are in the mode where there are a lot of subsidies around electrification and electric vehicles, whether it is towards buying of cars, or it is towards electrification or charging stations being installed at home. Many states are giving subsidies on that. Very soon, you will see that the cost will catch up with all those municipalities and the governments, and it would go the reverse way. As you just pointed out, you'll have to pay more, for electrification or for getting an electric vehicle, because this is not sustainable in the long run. All these subsidies around electrification, and what we do feel is the cost of electricity or the charging itself, whether it is on the public infrastructure or on your private infrastructure at home, both tariffs will go up, either because you're paying an amount towards your, let's say, your road taxes, or it might be just that everybody will start charging you more because they realize there are a lot of electrified vehicles that are being put on charge at home, which is obviously increasing on a daily basis. So the whole unit economics of having a more tariff-based mechanism towards charging and helping you towards that cost is going to take par, and it will be more beneficial to the end customers.
In like California and Texas, who notices a brownout at 3:00 in the morning?
That's right. You're right.
Because at some point, all of this, as the EV population increases, at some point the grid is going to be overworked. So
that is correct.
Spreading that out and having this app understand when that availability is there and kind of moving your vehicle around to when the power availability is there. So is this something CerebrumX is working on?
That is correct. We are already, in the proof of concept phase for this technology, and we are already working with our partners who give us information related to the different grids, at a national level in North America. So this is already in the works. We should be launching this out in the next 3 to 6 months to our customers.
That's pretty good.
So will it be like I'm a residential customer? It'd be something that I can get?
Oh, absolutely. This would be available to retail customers as well as, enterprise customers like fleets, where obviously this would be even more pronounced because, you have all your heavy vehicles that are plugged in for a longer duration in time. And obviously you have a lot more vehicles to deal with as as part of your lot management or what have you. So absolutely, this would be available to end customers as well as, to other customers like fleet.
So in your device, let's call it a device, is that plugged in series to the charger to the car, or is it integrated into the charging station that's at the house?
So we are working on both versions of it because some people might want it as part of, or let's say some people who are developing car chargers. There are obviously third parties who develop or make car chargers, right? So they would want this device to be installed for, at the time of manufacturing itself. So that's what we would call the OEM version of things. But I think the most resonant version of this would be basically where you would have the end customer buy an aftermarket device that they can install onto any charger that you have installed at home. So we are working on both versions.
So that way it's not just on the new stuff, it's also retroactive back to the existing charging systems that you have already installed. That makes total sense. And then, there's a projected cost savings based on what their electric rates are and stuff. So ultimately, I don't know I'm not asking what the charge would be for your device. Ultimately, it somewhat pays for itself over a long enough period of time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I cannot give you the exact numbers of savings, and I don't want to give you those numbers because I don't want to misquote anything. Yeah. But on an average, what should be a good number for you to know is from 6 p.m. in the evening towards, let's say, 3 a.m. in the morning, for most grids or most municipalities, the tariff varies from anywhere between 10 to 20%, right? So straight away, you would at least have a saving of that much, which is 10 to 20%. And then you can build in other optimizations on top of it, if you're really savvy with the app and so on and so forth. So.
Oh, well, how cool is that?
Yeah, and it kind of depends on your provider and what he's doing. Like we've got, I guess here in Houston, y'all have got 2 or 3 different providers or something.
Oh, yeah.
Well, where I'm at over there, a little bit closer to the border, it's one.
That's the border of Louisiana.
Yes, and there's one provider, but they do regulate the electricity between Texas and Louisiana because they provide in both sides of in both states, and depending on where they're at and who needs what as to what energy they're sending over. Now, I don't know that you get a different price. I know Louisiana has a different price structure because they're regulated a little bit differently than Texas is.
Well, Texas has their own grid.
But if the app and the system understands that, it automates it for you, and you don't have to be smart enough to figure out the difference.
Right. Whenever it changes or something, it'll pick up those changes, kind of like automatically update, like real live time, understand what the rate is.
That is correct. And also a slightly unrelated point here, there is a lot of push towards solar panels as well, right? Which you install, on top of your houses. Now, what you would realize is there are 2 types of installations, right? One is where you install the solar power, and that solar power powers a bit of your home itself, right? So the power that is being generated directly goes towards, let's say, powering your heater or your air conditioning or something like that, right? But in most cases, as you would expect, the authorities have mandated that the power goes back to the grid. Right. So you don't actually get that power directly to your home. It goes back to the grid. And then you get credits which are similar to let's say you're powering 10 units of electricity back to the grid through your solar system, you would get 10 credits back, to your electricity. The point I was trying to make is that is actually a little unfair, right? Because 10 units of electricity, if they were powering your home, have a different cost or a different effect towards 10 units of credit that you might be getting for a higher powered, higher priced electricity that is being given back to you. So there is a little bit of unit economics there as well. So why I'm mentioning this is in future, we also want to work on a version where a charging station can directly be powered by solar energy as well, so that you can get that directly being powered onto, have a storage system, and you can directly use that for car charging at whatever time you plug it in. So we're working on that version as well.
So your solar system charges into a battery, and then your battery is used to charge your vehicle, because at 3 o'clock in the morning the sun's not up, and you can't charge with solar.
That makes sense. Yeah, it does.
That is correct. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and in California, new houses are required to have solar. My daughter just bought a new house back April of last year, and solar is required, and depending on the size of your house as far as how many panels you have. But the setup is that the power generated goes back onto the grid.
That's right.
It doesn't go into a storage device in her house. And then, the electric companies, which out there is PG&E, they manipulate the system so it's most profitable to them. Like you're saying, if your solar power is being generated at the high peak hours at the highest tariff prices, that's not the credit you're getting is at the highest level. So, and it's all about, how does the electric company make money?
Yeah, that is absolutely right. And I stay in New Jersey, and I can tell you that, PG&E is the provider here as well. And they have two options that they give me. One is, what they call clean power. And the second is what is traditional power. And the clean power actually costs 1.2 or 1.25 times more than what the other power is. And the logic is, being a good global citizen, you should move to the clean power in the hope that in the future, the prices would kind of even out and the clean power would become less expensive. But nobody has told me, or anyone for that matter, when that is, whether that is 3 months, whether that is 6 months. There are all kinds of unit economics at work, and we're just trying to reduce the cost at the unit level for all the customers per charge. That's all we can hope to do.
Yeah. And when do you anticipate rolling out a consumer product availability?
So we are planning for this to go out in 3 to 6 months, as I mentioned. Obviously, this depends on some level of testing that we are undergoing, across North America along with our partners. So 3 to 6 months is the timeline, that we've set ourselves.
So sometime in the spring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yes. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to ask you, what was the other thing I was going to ask you about? So when you're talking about the electric companies, because like here we have a fuel charge. The price of fuel to generate the electricity goes up. That's passed along to the consumer.
Yeah.
So, some months it looks like you're paying more for the fuel than you are for the electricity they actually generated with it. So from your perspective, do you see relieving that? I mean, if the electric company takes the power you're generating, then you're sending it back, and then they're sending it back to you, literally is what it amounts to, so that it goes in through your, to charge your car.
Yep.
Do you see any impact there from that perspective?
So as I said, that is a little, I would say, non-transparent, because, the number of units that you plug back into the grid and the amount of electricity that you get back, as in terms of number of units back into the charging, is not very transparent. We are not really aware of how that credit system really works. At the end of the day, what you get is, basically a report which says that so many units of electricity were powered back into the grid by your solar system, for example, and so many units were credited back to you. But in terms of the actual cost arbitrage between the two, I will have to say that there is very less transparency there. And I think the best mechanism there would be if the solar power can be directly sent back to your homes to power a part of your homes or whatever device, whether it is your charging station or your heater or your air conditioning or whatever have you. That would be much better, for the consumer. In all respects.
Yeah, if I'm producing it, I should be able to keep it and use it for myself, not just give it back to somebody who's going to charge it to give it back to me at some point in the future.
Take the middleman
That
out
is
of
correct.
it. Well, Sumit, it's always great talking to you. You're a wealth of information every time we do talk to you, and we appreciate you taking the time on a Saturday
always learn
to join
something.
us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I've posted your link of cerebrum.ai on our social media as well. We kind of showed a picture of your website. If people want to learn more about it, there's an opportunity for them to go online to learn a lot more about it. And looks like they can sign up on a email newsletter as well. So all those, because we know we have a fair following of EV people that watch the show, give them an opportunity to be maybe first on the list when you're looking for early adopters of your system that want to get in. So thank you very much, Sumit.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
You're on the In Wheel Time Car Show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook.
Got to subscribe. You bet.
And we're going to do the events calendar. How's that?
All right. We know there's one tomorrow.
Yes.
Coffee and Chrome at the
Chrome
Avalon.
and coffee.
Chrome and coffee. Okay, Chrome and coffee at the Avalon Diner, which is basically the intersection of 59/69/Southwest Freeway and Highway 90 right there.
It's all one road. You just named the same road 3 times.
Right there on the south side of the Fountains Shopping Center. Generally a pretty good turnout with a wide variety of cars. So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow morning, come on out and
I will
check
be
it
there.
out.
I will be there.
You can be signing hero cards
Yes,
for Don?
I am.
Okay.
No, I'll be signing yours.
Other events are October 7th is the Mustang Club of Houston's Fall Open Car Show at Planet Ford up in Spring. October 14th is the All British Car Show at the Butler House at Gosling Road, just north of 99. October 20th is the 38th Annual Wolf Creek Car and Bike Show at Wolf Creek Park in Cold Spring, Texas. The Clear Lake Car Show is September 23rd at 7 a.m. at the Elks Lodge in Kemah. Saturday, September 16th, is the Schulenburg Take Flight Cruise. It's going to be leaving the Buc-ee's in Waller at 8:30, headed out to Schulenburg. That'll be a fun little drive. Also Saturday, September 16th, is the Texas Gator Fest Car Show at Fort Anahuac Park in Anahuac, Texas, kind of headed out there a little bit towards Marsland. And then finally on September 16th is the Let's Cruise the Drag, Nederland Avenue in Nederland, Texas. So you can have a drag show in Nederland, Texas.
Absolutely.
All righty. We got a car review coming up, Michael.
Yeah, we do. I had a chance to drive the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. That's the long version. Summit Reserve 4x4. I mean, that's a long name. It fills up the hotel gate whenever you go to put it on there. So this vehicle was first introduced in 2021. It's an extended version of the Grand Cherokee itself. So it's 12 inches longer, which makes this vehicle almost 17 feet long.
Wow.
But it does come in 7 trim levels. Starts out with the Laredo, the Altitude. There's a Limited, the Overland, the Summit, and the Summit Reserve is the top of the line, which is the one that I had the chance to drive. Now, even though this thing has gotten bigger, it's still considered a mid-size SUV, 3 rows of seats. And the regular Grand Cherokee only has 2, which I think is very nice. But by going a little bit longer, they added a 3rd one. So now you have 7-passenger vehicle. Now, you're still going to find the things that makes it a Jeep. 7-slot grill's going to be up front. You're going to find some LED lighting. You're going to find the all the things that you look for in a Jeep. Now, this one also comes with the hands-free power liftgate. Since we're on the top level, it's got a little more luxury to it, even though it still has all the off-road capability that you're going to find in a Jeep. We also happen to have the optional 21x9 aluminum wheels on this vehicle, so it's got some really big tires and wheels in it. Again, because this is an off-road capable vehicle. Maybe not as much as a regular Jeep because of the length, but it's there. So you go to the interior, and this thing is so big you got room to roam in it, it seems like. Palermo leather seating in it. The front seats are heated and ventilated, front bucket seats. They also have massaging on the driver's side.
All right.
The second row seats are ventilated, but there are bucket seats on the vehicle. We happen to have the third row is a 50/50 power folding seat. Up front, you're going to find a 10.1-inch touchscreen in the center of the dash. This is where you're going to find your Uconnect 5 with a surround 360-degree camera. But it also has, right next to it, is the front passenger interactive display. Now, the passenger can actually, instead of reaching over to the main screen that the driver would use, he can actually activate things, change the radio station. It can do all kinds of things there that you could do on the main screen, except you can do it from the passenger seat. Now, the driver also has a heads-up display that's a really nice setup, works well in the daylight to go along with a digital gauge cluster. Now, we happen to have the 19, this is an option, but it's well worth it, a 19-speaker Macintosh audio system with an 850-watt amp.
Wow.
Makes lots of noise inside that big vehicle. Now, again, big vehicle, but we happen to have the 3.6-liter V6 engine. You can get a V8 in this, but the V6 gives you 290 horsepower, 257 pound-feet of torque. It's backed by an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, towing with the V6, and we had the trailer towing package on it, it's capable of towing 6,200 pounds, properly equipped. But you can, if you want to take more, you step up to the V8, which will cost you some gas mileage and the cost of getting the engine, but you could tow 7,200 pounds with this vehicle. It'll haul a load. Now, with the V6, the EPA says you should be looking for about 18 miles to the gallon in the city. The highway is 25, and combined, you're looking at 21 miles to the gallon. Now, you get out on the highway in this vehicle, we had the adaptive air suspension, and you combine that, so you can raise it up and lower it, depending on if you're off-road, you're out on the highway. Has a lot to do with the aerodynamics of it, but you combine that with the long wheelbase, and this thing, that really kind of helps absorb all the road bumps and the ups and downs that you're going to run into, and it gives you a nice, steady feeling ride. It's not firm, it's not harsh, but it's not wishy-washy, and it doesn't just float around on you. So it's a pretty nice driver going down the road. Now, the base model price is $43,330. Now, a base trim price on the L model is $65,710. We had a few options. So that pushed the MSRP on this particular vehicle up to $76,280. If you're looking for something to compare it to, Honda Passport, base price to get into that midsize SUV is $41,110. But you come over to the Kia Telluride, which is also a 3-row vehicle at $35,890, or the Mazda CX-9 that I think Don's talked about a couple of times, $38,750, and that's also another 3-row vehicle. So all in all, this is a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's just a nice vehicle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's my review of the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit Reserve 4x4.
Thank you, Mike. And I think we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Hit it.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Real Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Real Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InRealTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise Inn, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Real Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Real Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InRealTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,